Welcome back, everyone, to Elderly Guidance.
Great to be here for this deep dive. We're really getting into some source material on a topic that's just vital as we age.
Absolutely. We're talking about keeping muscles strong, specifically tackling that muscle loss that can happen, maybe surprisingly, while you're asleep.
That's the focus. We've got this guide, Best Bedtime Foods for Senior Muscle, and honestly, it paints a pretty stark picture about what happens after 60.
It does. It highlights this core problem. Muscles aren't just weakening slowly over time. They can actually diminish quite a bit, especially overnight.
Exactly. The guide mentions research, like from the Journal of Clinical Nutrition, suggesting seniors can lose, well, up to 8% of muscle mass each decade.
8% per decade. Wow.
And a big chunk of that loss, it seems to happen while we sleep.
So you could be losing ground literally overnight. The guide even throws out this grabber statistic.
Yeah, that you might lose something like 0.2% of your muscle mass just today,
Hmm.
unless you're proactive.
Okay, so that's where we come in. We're going to unpack this guide's ranking its top 8 foods to eat before bed to fight this.
And it makes some big claims, like one food dramatically boosting overnight muscle protein synthesis, citing a pretty recent 2024 study.
Right, and that other claim that really caught my eye, one food potentially helping rebuild lost muscle by up to 69%. We need to look into how the guide says that works.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's all about understanding the potential impact of these foods, according to the source.
Okay, let's dive in. And hey, if this kind of science-based insight is something you find valuable, if you want more practical tips for staying strong, maybe take a second right now and hit subscribe. It really helps us know we're on the right track with these deep dives.
Yeah, it's appreciated. All right, so the guides list. Starting at the bottom, number 8. What does it say is a key food for nighttime muscle?
Number 8 is cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese. Okay, maybe not the first thing people think of for bedtime. What's the guide's thinking?
Well, it's all about the protein type. Cottage cheese is packed with casein.
Ah, casein. Not like whey, right. It's the slow digesting one.
Exactly. It releases amino acids slowly over like 6 to 8 hours. So while you're sleeping and fasting, your body isn't forced to break down muscle. It gets a steady supply instead.
Sort of like a slow release patch for your muscles overnight.
That's a great way to put it. The guide points to a study, British Journal of Nutrition, where older adults taking 30 grams of casein before bed
Uh-huh.
saw a 31% jump in overnight muscle protein synthesis compared to those who didn't.
31%. That's significant. So it's not just stopping the breakdown. It could actually be building muscle while you sleep.
That's what the guide suggests, yeah. And it adds that cottage cheese has tryptophan, which can help with sleep itself. Kind of a bonus.
Right. Better sleep equals better recovery.
Yeah.
So practical tips. How much, when?
Guide says about half a cup, plain low fat is best. Eat it maybe 30 to 60 minutes before bed.
Okay.
You could add like banana for potassium or cinnamon. It's easy to digest, pretty affordable too.
Good point. So this is relevant if you wake up feeling, weak, sore, maybe a bit slower than you used to.
Exactly. That kind of morning stiffness or weakness. This could be offering support while you rest.
All right. Interesting start. What's number 7?
Moving up, number 7, hard-boiled eggs. Feels a bit more traditional, maybe.
Definitely a classic protein source. The guide calls them nutrient powerhouses.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just the amount of protein, it's the quality.
Meaning,
Eggs have complete protein, all those essential amino acids your muscles need in the right ratios.
yeah.
That's important because, as we age, our bodies sometimes get less efficient at using protein.
Makes sense. And they pack a punch about 6 grams per egg, including leucine. That's the trigger amino acid, right?
That's the one. The guide cites a 2021 study in Nutrients, finding seniors eating whole eggs before sleep had a 19% better muscle preservation rate over 12 weeks.
19% better preservation. Okay. And the study mentioned something else.
Yeah, it apparently boosted levels of IGF-1.
IGF-1. Remind me.
Think of it like a key hormone for tissue repair, including muscle. Levels tend to drop as we get older, so boosting it is good for overnight recovery, maybe slowing down that muscle loss.
Got it. So practical advice from the guide on eggs.
Simple. 1 or 2 hard-boiled eggs, about half an hour before bed, easy to digest, low sugar, shouldn't mess with sleep.
Okay.
It even suggests adding a little turmeric and black pepper. Turmeric for inflammation, pepper helps you absorb it.
Interesting addition. Seems like a really convenient option, especially if your appetite isn't huge late at night.
Totally. A simple shot of high-quality protein just when you might need it most.
All right, number 6 on the guide's list is tuna in olive oil. Now that sounds a bit unusual for bedtime.
It does, doesn't it? But the guide lays out a pretty logical case. You get the lean tuna protein, lots of leucine,
Uh-huh.
but crucially, you also get those healthy omega-3 fats from the olive oil. Omega-3s are great for reducing inflammation, which helps muscles recover.
Okay, so the inflammation angle. What about the oil itself?
Well, like the casein, fat slows digestion down. So the amino acids from the tuna get released more steadily through the night. Helps keep your body in that anabolic or muscle-building state.
Right, rather than breaking muscle down. So it's the combo protein plus healthy fat.
Exactly. The guide mentions a 2020 study, American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Older adults eating protein with healthy fats before sleep showed a 34% greater increase in overnight muscle protein synthesis compared to those just having protein.
34%. That's a big difference just by adding the fat.
Yeah. And the study apparently also showed better absorption of things like vitamin D and lower inflammation markers. So it helps fight sarcopenia, that age-related muscle loss.
How much are we talking? A whole meal?
No. The guide suggests just half a can of tuna packed in olive oil, not water. Maybe with some cucumber slices or a couple of whole grain crackers. Keep it light, avoid mayo.
Gotcha. So a practical way to target morning soreness, help muscle retention, potentially wake up feeling a bit stronger.
That's the idea. Powerful, but simple, without being a heavy meal right before sleep.
Okay, makes sense. Moving on to number 5. This one feels more familiar. Greek yogurt.
Ah, yes, Greek yogurt, a popular, healthy choice. And the guide highlights why it fits here. It's got that slow digesting casein protein again,
Right.
plus probiotics for gut health and calcium. And because it's strained, it's really concentrated in casein compared to regular yogurt. So you get that amino acid trickle for maybe up to 7 hours.
7 hours, okay. That covers most of the night. Any specific studies mentioned?
Yep, one in Frontiers in Nutrition. Older adults having a high-protein Greek yogurt snack before bed for 6 weeks. They showed a 26% higher rate of overnight muscle protein synthesis versus no snack.
26%. Consistent results here.
And that study, according to the guide, also found improvements in mitochondrial activity in the muscle cells.
Mitochondria.
Yeah.
The cell's power plants.
Exactly. More efficient power plants could mean more energy the next day. Plus, you get calcium, good for bones, obviously, but also muscle contraction, nerve signals.
Yeah.
Might help with cramps or stiffness.
And the probiotics.
They support gut health. And there's a growing link between a healthy gut and how well your body handles protein and maintains muscle. So it's kind of supporting the whole system.
Right. So how to do it?
Half a cup, plain unsweetened Greek yogurt, 30-45 minutes before bed. Definitely avoid the sugary flavored ones.
Yeah, the sugar would defeat the purpose.
You can add berries, cinnamon, maybe some chia seeds for fiber and extra omega-3s.
So this one's good for people dealing with morning fatigue, muscle weakness after sleep, that sort of thing.
That's what the guide suggests could really benefit, helping build a stronger internal foundation while you sleep.
Okay, we're hitting the midpoint. We've covered cottage cheese, eggs, tuna in oil, and Greek yogurt. It's really striking how these, pretty simple foods could potentially make such a difference overnight.
It absolutely hammers home that nighttime isn't just rest time, it's crucial rebuilding time. And what you eat right before bed seems to matter quite a bit, according to this source.
It's definitely food for thought. And if you're finding this deep dive useful, if you want to keep learning ways to stay strong and independent, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button now if you haven't already. It lets us know you value this kind of information.
Okay, let's push on. Number 4 on the guides list.
Number 4 is warm milk with turmeric. Sounds comforting, like something my grandma might have suggested.
It does have that traditional feel, but the guide breaks down the science. Milk itself gives you casein, calcium, tryptophan, all good for recovery and sleep. Then adding turmeric brings curcumin into the mix. Curcumin is a powerhouse anti-inflammatory. It might help reduce muscle breakdown and support joint function too.
So it's tackling inflammation, providing building blocks, double whammy.
Pretty much. The guide references a 2022 study, Nutritional Neuroscience. Older adults having a small protein drink before bed saw a 32% improvement in overnight muscle protein synthesis.
32% again. These numbers are consistently high.
But here's the kicker. The group that had curcumin added to their drink also reported less morning stiffness and fewer aches.
Ah, so the turmeric really made a difference in how they felt.
Seems like it. It underlines that recovery involves managing inflammation and getting good rest, not just protein intake. Muscle grows during rest.
Right. How do you make it?
Guide says warm up about a cup of milk, suggests organic or A2 if possible. Stir in about a quarter teaspoon of ground turmeric and just a pinch of black pepper. The pepper is key for absorbing the curcumin.
Okay, pepper's important.
Yeah. Tiny bit of honey is okay if you need it. Sip it slowly, maybe 30 minutes before bed. Plant milks could work, but the guide leans towards dairy based on the studies it cites.
So this is a nice, simple ritual, good for folks who feel sore just from sleeping.
Exactly. A food-based way to support that natural recovery process.
Okay, number 3. This one's pretty popular. Almond butter.
Yeah, almond butter. The guide highlights its blend. Healthy fats, some plant-based protein, magnesium, and vitamin E. It digests slowly.
So another slow-release energy source.
Right. Provides steady energy, steady nutrients, without spiking your blood sugar and messing with sleep. Good for muscle recovery and repair.
Any specific research linked to it?
It mentions a 2020 nutrient study. Older adults having a small portion of almond-based fat before bed showed a 17% improvement in overnight nitrogen retention.
Nitrogen retention. That's a marker for keeping muscle protein.
Exactly. It means your body is holding onto protein better, preserving muscle. And that same study, the guide says, found it helped lower cortisol levels.
Ah, the stress hormone, which can break down muscle.
Right, precisely. So almond butter might help protect muscle from stress hormones while you sleep, as well as providing fuel.
How much are we talking? Don't want to overdo the calories.
No, keep it small. Guide suggests just 1 tablespoon about 30 minutes before bed.
Okay.
Spread it on a bit of whole grain toast or just eat it plain. Make sure it's natural, no added sugar or weird oils. And the magnesium content is a plus for muscle relaxation and sleep quality.
Good point. Seems particularly useful if you sometimes wake up hungry during the night. Helps keep blood sugar stable.
That's what the guide suggests, a kind of quiet, steady worker for maintaining strength.
All right, nearly at the top. Number 2 on the list is tart cherry juice. I've heard about this for sleep.
Yes, it's known for melatonin, helping with sleep, but the guide focuses heavily on its anti-inflammatory power.
From?
Anthocyanins. They're really potent antioxidants found in tart cherries. They help combat inflammation and oxidative stress in muscle tissue.
Oxidative stress, like cellular damage.
Yeah, sort of like rust. Our bodies struggle more to clear that damage as we age, so less inflammation, less stress means muscles can recover better overnight.
Makes sense. Is there research backing this muscle connection?
The guide cites a 2019 study, Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition. Adults over 50 drinking tart cherry juice before bed reported up to 33% less muscle soreness.
33% less soreness, wow.
And a 15% boost in sleep efficiency compared to placebo. Better sleep means more deep restorative sleep, which is when growth hormone gets released, crucial for muscle repair.
So it's a double benefit again, better sleep and direct anti-inflammatory effects on the muscles.
Exactly. Plus, potential benefits for joints, arthritis symptoms too. The guide suggests 4 to 6 ounces of unsweetened 100% tart cherry juice 30-45 minutes before bed, can dilute it if it's too tart.
Interesting. A natural option if you wake up tired, sore, or just drained.
Yeah, a rare food that combines sleep support and muscle repair so directly. Simple way to potentially boost long-term strength.
Okay, we've arrived at number 1. According to this guide, the single best bedtime food for senior muscle is
a whey protein shake.
Whey protein. Okay, that's maybe less surprising given its reputation in fitness.
Right, but the guide frames it as potentially the most potent tool specifically for older adults before bed. Why? It's packed with essential amino acids, especially leucine.
Leucine again, the trigger.
The main trigger. And the guide talks about anabolic resistance in aging muscle. Basically, older muscles need a bigger protein signal, more leucine, to kickstart that building process compared to younger muscles.
Ah, so whey delivers that bigger signal effectively.
That's the idea. It's absorbed fast, high in leucine, so it overcomes that resistance. It gives your muscles that quick hit of building blocks right as you go to sleep.
And the evidence. You mentioned a big study.
Yeah, a 2021 clinical trial, American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. Adults over 65 had a 40-gram whey protein shake right before bed. The results were pretty dramatic, according to the guide.
That's dramatic.
A staggering 22% increase in overnight muscle protein synthesis.
22%? That's huge.
It is. They also saw improvements in strength, functional stuff like walking and balance, and lower markers of muscle breakdown overnight.
Wow. So real-world improvements, not just lab markers.
Exactly. That's why the guide really emphasizes this one, calling it almost essential for seniors serious about keeping their strength and independence. It suggests this is the intervention linked to that potential 69% muscle rebuilding figure over time based on the synthesis and functional gains seen in studies.
So, practically speaking, how much whey?
1 scoop of high-quality whey isolate or hydrolyzed are often easier to digest mixed with water or unsweetened almond milk, about 30 to 60 minutes before bed.
And avoid the sugary stuff.
Definitely. Keep it clean protein. You could blend in a little banana or almond butter for sustained energy, but keep it light. It also supports natural growth hormone and IGF-1 release during sleep.
And it's easy to make, even if you don't feel like eating much.
That's a big plus. A very practical solution with potentially profound benefits for fighting muscle loss.
Okay, so that's the guide's top 8. Cottage cheese, eggs, tuna, Greek yogurt, warm milk with turmeric, almond butter, tart cherry juice, and whey protein at number 1.
The core message seems really clear. Nighttime matters for muscle. A lot. And simple food choices before bed could make a real difference in counteracting that age-related decline.
And these aren't just fads. The guide presents them as backed by research. Consistency seems key, though.
Absolutely. It's not about one night. It's about building a habit.
So maybe the provocative thought to leave everyone with is this. Think about the cumulative effect. How could one small, consistent change to your nightly routine, just choosing one of these foods, actually change how your muscles age?
Yeah, potentially turning sleep from a time of loss into a period of rebuilding, setting you up for more strength, more energy each day.
It's a powerful idea. Simple actions, potentially big long-term results for staying vital and independent.
Couldn't agree more.
Well, if this deep dive was helpful, if you want to keep learning how to optimize your health as you get older, please do subscribe to Elderly Guidance. Remember, you're never too old to get stronger.
That's right. And we'd love to hear from you, too. If you have questions, or maybe you've tried some of these things yourself, share your experiences in the comments. Let's keep exploring how to support strength one night at a time.